warm welcome to Kevin Casey, our next speaker. Kevin's going to speak to us about disruption to everyday routine and depressive symptoms during the COVID pandemic. And Kevin is a student of the Bachelor of Arts. So thank you, Kevin, and the floor is yours.
Thanks. So I'm Kevin Casey. I'm doing Bachelor of Arts with Psychology and Sociology, and I'm in second year at the moment. I'm doing my co-op, and I'm doing it with the Department of Psychology in UL. And so Grace McMahon, who is part of this paper, is my supervisor for my co-op. So she brought me on board with this a good while ago now. So I've been working on this for a lot of my co-op. So I'm happy that I get to present some of the findings and stuff today. So I'll get started into it. So obviously, depressive symptoms. There's been a significant rise in awareness over the last decade about mental health, which we all know, and this has caused issues such as depression to get much more attention, which they wouldn't have gotten in the past. And it's also led to more people opening up about how they're feeling in their mental health, which means more people are now properly diagnosed. They would have gone completely undiagnosed in the past. And we all know COVID-19 has had a massive part shaping our lives for the last year. On March 7th of 2020, it was officially declared as a pandemic. In Ireland, there have been over 227,000 cases with 4,534 deaths up until yesterday, which was when I updated. So if there was another few in since then, I apologise. And worldwide, there have been over 120 million cases with over 2.6 million deaths. So it's had a massive impact worldwide. COVID-19 has dramatically changed how we live our everyday lives. We all know that. Most education and occupations have spent the majority of the year online, or in a lot of cases not happening. Family and friends have spent a lot of the last year not being able to see each other. This has been down to travel restrictions and physical distancing measures. And a lot of wellbeing services, both physical and psychological, such as sports, team sports, and things like support groups, have been either postponed or put online. So mediating factors that we have in this paper are rumination, which is the obsessive thinking about an idea, situation, or choice, especially when it interferes with normal mental functioning. Social connectedness, which can be defined as the quality and number of connections we have with other people in our social networks, like family, friends, and acquaintances. And these connections can be in real life, but they can be online as well. Both of these have been shown to have effects on depressive symptoms. And we also used online engagement because it can act as a buffer to the effects of the disruption to routine on social connectedness and rumination. So our hypotheses were that disruption to routine increases depressive symptoms, that levels of social disconnectedness and rumination increase due to disruption to routine, and that online engagement somewhat mitigates the effect of disruption to routine on social connectedness. So in terms of this paper that we've been doing, 496 people participated in a survey, an online survey using Qualtrics, and they range from 18 to 73 years old with a mean age of 29. 123 of them were men, 372 were women, and one person identified as other. The study adapted a cross-sectional and correlational design. And as I said there a minute ago, it was Qualtrics that we used. And the survey was distributed on a lot of social media sites, Instagram and Facebook being two of the main ones, and it was also sent out through email links, both internally and externally at the university. So the PHQ-9, or the Patient Health Questionnaire 9, was used to measure depressive symptoms. An adapted version of the social connectedness scale was used to assess individuals' perceptions of connectedness to each other and to their society. The rumination responses scale measured rumination, and both disruption to routine and online engagement were self-reported by the participants. So in terms of results, the participants reported a mean depressive score of 8.94, and 39.5% of the sample showed clinically significant levels of depression. Rumination and social disconnectedness scores post-social distancing were elevated. Participants also reported moderately high levels of disruption to well-being activities, and a mean score of 9.59 between 2 and 20 was reported by the participants for the effectiveness of social media for mitigating the current disruption to well-being activities. So preliminary regression analysis were conducted, and it was found that disruption to the everyday routine of well-being activities was positively associated with depressive symptoms. Serial mediation analyses were conducted, and the results of them indicated a statistically significant serial mediation via social connectedness and rumination. So this meant that disruption to well-being activities was negatively associated with social connectedness, which was then negatively linked to rumination, and then which was in turn positively correlated to depressive symptoms. The results of a serial moderated mediation showed no significant interaction effects between disruption to well-being activities and the effectiveness of online means of engagement. So in terms of what this means, the study basically showed that lockdowns and social distancing measures put in place by the government to fight COVID-19, while they are absolutely necessary, have had a notable impact on mental health. It also shows that disruption to routine increases levels of rumination and decreases levels of social connectedness. And it also suggests that online engagement does not mitigate the effects of disruption to routine on social connectedness as much as we may have thought. And kind of to sum it all up, more efforts have to be made to maintain people's mental health in the difficult times that we're living in. And that's it. Thanks for listening. Any questions?